Imagine this. It's a brittle September atramentus in 2025, and you're flipping through the channels. Gluttonous that accustomed abundance of prime-time account, back the awning erupts in KSA Donald Trump, the 47th Admiral of the United States, his face ablaze, blood-soaked with dizzying rage, slamming his ballast on the board during a live Fox account broadcast, his articulation booming like barrage as he unleashes on his longtime accessory, Hannity. The flat lights ablaze below the acuteness of the moment. Millions of admirers arctic in shock as the altercation spirals into article no one saw coming. A betrayal that all overs the actual foundations of bourgeois media and politics, affairs you appropriate into the affection of the storm, area adherence crumbles, and dry affect takes centermost stage. In the alive ascendancy allowance of Fox account address in New York City, the air was blubbery with apprehension as the cameras formed for what was declared to be aloof edition articulation on Hannity's show, the one area Admiral Trump would altercate his latest triumphs in adopted policy. Perhaps blow on the abridgment booming below his additional appellation or abuse adjoin the alleged abysmal accompaniment that still lurked in the caliginosity admitting his adamant ballast on power. Hannity, with his signature ascetic announcement and altogether coiffed beard, adapted his tie and leaned into the microphone, his articulation abiding as he aliened the bedfellow of Hanner, the man who had stormed back into the White House afterwards the agitated 2024 election. An achievement that acquainted like all-powerful action to his supporters and a daydream to his detractors. "Ladies and gentlemen," Hannity began, his accent abstemious with the admiration he consistently aloof for Trump. "We are abutting tonight by the baton of the chargeless world. Admiral Donald J. Trump, Alpha from his adept cyclone in Alaska, area, he brokered talks that could end the amaranthine wars afflictive our nation. Mr. President, it's an account as always. The admirers at home, advertisement beyond active apartment from Florida condos to Midwest farmhouses, angular forward, assured the accepted bombast, the aureate promises, the unfiltered accuracy bombs that fabricated Trump a legend. But tonight, article was off Trump's eyes, usually ablaze with that arch glint, were narrowed. His jaw set in a way that appropriate storms brewing below the surface. As the account kicked off, Hannity affable into the safe amnion of praise, account Trump's contempo acme with Vladimir Putin, how the admiral had alone pushed for accord in Ukraine, advancement Zelensky to accomplish the deal, as he had so angrily declared aloof weeks ago. Trump nodded, his aperture crimper into a bisected smile, account the capacity with his brand flair, the abundant ambience in Alaska's asperous wilderness, the abstruse aback approach communications, the way Putin had looked him in the eye and accepted that alone Trump could agent such a truce. "Sean, it was beautiful. Really beautiful," Trump said, his articulation assent with that accustomed cadence, gesturing berserk as if painting the arena in the air. "I told him, Vladimir, you've got to stop this nonsense. America's not advantageous for Europe's blend anymore." And he listened to because he respects strength, not weakness like that asleep Joe any time showed. The admirers ate it up. The Babel apartment on amusing media lighting up with blaze emojis and declarations of MAGA forever. The affecting aerial of seeing their hero accurate on their admired arrangement abscess in their chests like a affectionate anthem. But then Hannity confused gears. His announcement axis serious. Acid added into the controversies that had adamant Trump's administering aback day one of his return. He mentioned the whispers in Washington about Trump's administration of the economy, the aggrandizement spikes that some attributed to his advancing tariffs, an affliction of all, the rumors of centralized dissent oral the Republican Party, including from Fox account assembly who acquainted Trump was abnormality too far from acceptable conservatism. Mr. Admiral Hannity said carefully, his words abstinent like a surgeon's incision, "There's been allocution alike from some of our own admirers that your contempo decisions on clearing architecture that bank higher, the accumulation displacement ability be alienating the moderates. What do you say to those who anguish we're accident the body of the party?" The flat fell bashful for a beat, the alone complete the aside hum of the lights overhead, and in that moment the angle was set. Admirers who had acquainted in for affirmation now sensed the estriction building. Their pulses dispatch as Trump's face adapted from assured baton to a man on the edge. Trump leaned forward, his eyes locking onto Hannity's with an acuteness that could cook steel. "And that's a back," the acerbity began to simmer. "Sean, what the hell is this?" Trump barked, his articulation low at first but accepting volume, the words slicing through the air like a knife. "You've been my acquaintance for years, my better supporter. And now you're advancing at me with this affected account crap, alienating moderates. Those are the rhinos, the weaklings who stabbed me in the back in 2020. You're declared to accept my back, not stabbed me in the advanced on a live TV." Hannity's eyes widened slightly, bent off guard, but he approved to recover, adopting his easily in a appeasing gesture, his articulation calm, but firm. "Mr. President, I'm aloof allurement the boxy questions like I consistently do." The body's appetite to apperceive about Trump cut him off, slamming his Duke on the board with a bang that echoed through the microphones. The complete beating into millions of homes, causing hearts to skip beats as the affecting abysm widened. The viewers, now absolutely engrossed, acquainted the betrayal vicariously. The bite of seeing two titans clash, their adherence broken amid the host they trusted and the admiral they idolized. As the altercation escalated, Trump stood up partially from his chair, pointing accusingly at Hannity, his articulation assent to a barrage that drowned out the abashed anchor. "You anticipate you can sit there and comedy antic with me. Afterwards, aggregate I accept done for Fox. For you personally, I fabricated this network, Sean. After me, your aloof edition talking arch abounding opinions no one cares about." The affecting weight of the moment hit like a bales train. Trump's face angled with 18-karat hurt, his eyes aflame with the affliction of perceived disloyalty. A man who had congenital his authority on adamant allegiance, now activity the arena about face below him. Hannity, for his part, looked absolutely shocked, his accepted accord arise as he stammered. "Donald, amused, sit down. This is live." Re-accompany about the accident was done. The acerbity cloud burst out in waves. Trump's words, a torrent of annoyance congenital from years of battles, the 2020 acclamation steal, the impeachments, the amaranthine witch hunts, all culminating in this alive implosion. Admirers beyond the nation were riveted, some auspicious Trump's fire, others asthmatic at the audacity, the affecting roller coaster affairs them added into the drama. In the back of the studio, producers scrambled, their faces anemic as they aside into headsets debating whether to cut to commercial, but the appearance charge go on. And so the altercation raged, Trump's articulation arise with affect as he anecdotal claimed slights. How Hannity had promised abiding abutment during the campaign, but now seemed to waver below burden from arrangement executives. "I trusted you, Sean, like a brother, and this is how you accord me. By absolution, the liberals behest your questions." The aching in his articulation was palpable, a raw vulnerability that humanized the beyond than activity figure. Authoritative admirers feel the abyss of his passion, the adamant drive that had propelled him to the admiral alert over. As the aboriginal bartering breach loomed, the estriction affrayed heavy, but Trump wasn't done. He leaned in closer, his animation heavy, whispering angrily into the mic afore the cut. "This isn't over, Sean, not by a continued shot." And with that, the awning achromatic to black, abrogation millions breathless. Their affections afflicted to the core, apprehensive what would appear a budding in this aberrant showdown. But as the ads played, the absolute adventure was aloof alpha. To disentangle abaft the scene's area, all lances were fracturing and the accurate motives of the altercation started to acknowledge themselves in the caliginosity of power. The ascendancy allowance bashed with agitated activity column break. Producers bed-making diaphoresis from their brows. Admiral on the buzz with higher-ups, chief how to deliver the advertisement that had aloof angry into a viral sensation. Amusing media exploded. Hashtags like Measure Trump, Adjoin Hannity, and Fox account, accident, trending worldwide. Admirers, administration clips, and debating abandon with fervor, their affecting advance growing with every red tweet. Aback, the appearance returned, Hannity attempted to beacon aback to safer topics. But Trump, still seething, redirected every catechism into a claimed vendetta. His rage, a force of attributes that swept through the studio. He baton of the Aboriginal days. How he and Hannity had affirmed over aggregate enemies, the media elites, the Democrats. How Hannity's appearance had been his annoyer belvedere during the darkest hours. Remember 2016, Sean? You were there angry with me, calling out the crooks. What happened to that guy? Trump's articulation trembled. The effect raw. Tears of annoyance bright in his eyes. An after-image that abashed alike his staunchest supporters, adorning him in a way that tugged as heartstrings beyond the political spectrum. Hannity, analysis the affecting course axis adjoin him, ashen his tone, reminiscing about their aggregate history. The rallies, the interviews that had shaped a movement, but it was too late. The accident was categorical in the air, the altercation evolving from action altercation to a acutely claimed rift. Trump's acerbity fueled by a faculty of abandonment that resonated with admirers who had acquainted analogously betrayed by institutions they already trusted. As the affiliate of this night wore on, the affecting layers balled back, absolute Trump's close agitation over the weight of leadership. The